Hey, how you doing? My name's Kris Krohn. Today, we're talking about standards when it comes to buying real estate. And I'm going to share with you how to know whether you have a good deal or not.
'Cause we're gonna be legends. What we're doing here ain't just scary. It's about to be legendary.
So check it out. You want to crush it in the game of real estate, but you're really wondering, how do I know if I have a really good deal? How do you even know what kind of deal you should buy? How do you know what you should even be looking for? And in today's video, I believe I'm going to give you some great clarity on that. I'm going to share 3 things specifically that I believe are going to help you with that. And with that, let's actually jump in with number 1, but not first without acknowledging the Monopoly Scotty dog. When I play the game Monopoly, I win 87% of the time. And superstitiously, I'd like to believe it's because of the dog. Reality is, I have rules that let me know when or how I'm winning. And in real estate, it's the same thing. I'm going to share 3 of them with you right now. So check it out. Number 1, biggest problem I see in the game of real estate is you need to know what your niche is and you need to stick with it. Seriously, hands down, one of the biggest problems that I find with people is they bounce around. They're like, well, I'm doing a flip. Now I'm doing a buy and hold. Now I'm doing an apartment. And they have a lack of congruency and they're trying to pick up experience everywhere, not realizing how dangerous it is. You know, when you do a deal, there's a risk that it might not work out. And if you're doing it for the first time or second time, dude, you're a novice. You don't know what you think you know. That can create a really significant problem in having success. This document right here is called Krohn Consortium, bringing institutional structure and scale to single family. This is my way of basically showing people, hey, I've done over 4,000 homes just like this. That makes me an expert in this space. I'm averaging 25 to 30% annual ROI. It's crazy. You can click in the link below and learn about partnering with me and I can give you some of these deals. But I have a different tool that I really want to focus on today, which is if you want to know whether you have a good deal, 3 things. Number 1, what is your niche? Now, is it rentals? Is it lease options like I often teach people? Is it flipping? Is it apartments? Is it commercial? You want to know what your niche is, and then whatever niche it is, you want to stick in that niche. Now, in the description below, you can get a copy of my book for free. It's this real estate book, and the reason why I give it away for free is because I basically say there is a best way to transact real estate. This is my opinion mathematically on what I think that is. You don't have to agree with me. So bottom line, know your niche, stick with your niche, master your niche, all right? And I've given you some good resources if you don't know exactly what that niche is. The second thing, if you want to know whether you have a good deal, well, before we can get to the good deal, now we have to hit number 2, which is what's your philosophy? Like you have to have a definition of what a good deal is. Is a good deal getting a property under value and basically getting it at a discount? Is it based on a certain ROI measure? You know, for me, when I help people do lease options in their backyard like the book teaches, basically what I'm doing is I'm helping you do kind of real estate where you're focusing on discount up front because you might not be in the most advantaged neighborhood or city or area. If you're doing nationwide investing and tapping into the very best markets nationwide, I'm really focusing heavy on ROI. And I got standards. I need a minimum of 25% annual ROI. Sometimes they have 30, sometimes they have over 30%, but they got to have 25. Why is that my standard? Because I know that my money's going to double at least every 5 years after I sell the thing and then double my portfolio. It's part of a system. So you have to ask yourself, after you know your niche that you're going to stick with until you master it, then the second thing you really want to know is, what's your philosophy? How do you define a good deal? In my book here, I talk about a 15% discount for a backyard deal being a minimum milestone, but ultimately you got to figure that out. For me, I focus these days more than anything on ROI. So the third thing that I want to share with you is you've got to crunch the numbers. This is the third thing. And this is the scariest part for most people, but let me show you how ridiculously easy this can actually be. If I take a $200,000 home, and then if that home has 2,000 square feet, then I can divide them into each other, and guess what I find out? This home is selling for $100 per square foot. And then I could actually check the next deal. The next deal was actually, oddly enough, was a $190,000 home for this 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It was 1,900 square feet. And so I divide them into each other, and what do I find out? It's weird, it's also $100 a square foot. And then I check on 10 more deals, and one of them's at 110 a square foot, and one of them's at 95 a square foot, and one of them's at 98, and one of them is at 103. So far you understand it, right? But then I'm looking at a deal that I can pick up for $200,000, and I find out that it has 4,000 square feet. And I'm like, oh, I divided this into that, and guess what I got? $50 a square foot. Now just think about that for a minute. 93, 98, 100, 150. One of these kids is not like the other ones. Something is wrong here, or there's a fantastic deal that's brewing. So I crunch the numbers and I get my math and I figure out what's happening here. Same thing for me. These days when I do my nationwide, the biggest thing I'm looking at is ROI, return on investment. I take all of the math and the numbers and the future into account, and I basically say over 5 years, what am I going to average? And I have standards. My standard is it's got to produce at least 25%. If it does, I'm interested because that's aggressive. Most people struggle doing a real estate deal earning 10%, maybe 12, but not 15, not 20, and not 25. So I have standards that's gotten me to where I'm at. I guess what I'm sharing with you today is if you want to know if you have a good deal, you need to, number one, understand what is my niche. Number two, what is the philosophy, or how will I know if it's a good deal? And then number three, you need to know how to crunch the numbers to actually verify. If you do these three things, then you actually know what it is, what a good deal is. If you have no idea, get a copy of my book and start somewhere. That would be a great place for you to start. Now, there is one last tool that I think is really important for you to be aware of. By the way, if you're liking this video and it's helpful for you, do me a favor, will you smash that like button? It tells YouTube to basically put this video in front of some other people as a good suggestion. Or feel free to share it with someone else. But really what I want to hit for you is I find that the biggest reason why we don't have more millionaires in the game of real estate is because people are scared. They're nervous. They lack confidence. And I could say read a book, but a book doesn't talk back. I could say go to an event, but the speaker is not on speed dial. That's why I created a hotline, a real estate hotline that is basically designed to be there. It's not 24/7, it's business hours, but you can basically talk with my expert real estate team and ask them any question on crunching numbers, reviewing a deal, getting a mortgage lined up, finding a credit partner. We do all of these things. And this is the same team that I'm using to transact a property just about every single day. They're super knowledgeable. They're the ones that have helped me do thousands of deals. And if you click in the description below, you can actually, click on a website that'll tell you a little bit more about it. I've done everything in my power to make it so crazy affordable. This is the one thing I wish I would have had. This is like a mentor in your pocket, someone knowledgeable that can walk you through and help you understand what's missing. And so that real estate hotline is something I highly recommend if you're brand new. If you don't know where to start, get the hotline. If you're looking at a deal and don't know if it's a good deal, get the hotline. If you're stuck and stagnant, get an outside perspective. Bottom line is you should always be buying real estate once you start until you build all of the wealth that you possibly want. And so I now created a tool that you've been asking for, and now it's available. So click the link below. We'll get that to you. We get this one life. I don't know what comes next. I don't know what its rules are for the most part, but my belief is that we were sent here for a reason. And for me, as best as I can sum that up, it is to express my purpose and to have it all, which means I want to create as much wealth, health, connection as I possibly can, find balance in each of those areas, tear it up, achieve, win, learn, grow, make it through my struggles and difficulties successfully, get to the other side, and ultimately have found great happiness. Today, I'm doing that and serving you. So thank you so much for watching today's video. Make sure that you give it a thumbs up and like it. And otherwise, click the video that the internet thinks you're gonna like next from my channel. And otherwise, click the link below and we will get you started with the real estate mentor and help that you need at a fraction of the cost so you can get going confidently in your real estate. Take care.